what have you seen in your experience, some of the common money mindsets that hold people back?
Yeah. All right, here's a great example. Real estate investors, right?
Mhm.
Real estate investors, I've seen this many, many times. Someone gets started real estate investing and they feel like they gotta squeeze every penny out of the transaction. They got to do all the things themselves. And there's a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of expertise required. And it's not realistic to feel that you can go in and do everything yourself. Let's say someone wants to buy a single family home and renovate the property and do all the things themselves, all the work, all the repairs, whether they know how to do it or not. Maybe someone's spending hours and hours watching on YouTube how to install plumbing to learn how to do it. Well, what if instead you hire that out to the professional?
This is the Real Estate Vibe Show, and I'm your host, Vinki Loomba. As a real estate investor and a fund manager, I'm always excited to explore the wonderful world of real estate opportunities with you and for you. So today I have a very special guest, and he's my friend from one of my networking groups. His name is Fred Moskowitz. I hope I said your name right.
Yes, thank you, Vinky. Hello, it's great to be here.
So welcome to the Real Estate Vibe Show, Fred.
Thank you.
A little bit about Fred. Fred is a renowned speaker, advisor, and trainer in the fields of entrepreneurship and investing. With over 20 years of experience, Fred has established himself as an authority on alternative investments and wealth building through SDRA or self-directed accounts. Today, Fred will share his unique, result-oriented education and actionable steps on financial literacy, mindset, and success, and will inspire investors or aspiring investors from all walks of life, because our today's topic is mindset of money. We'll dive into the mindset of money, exploring how our beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors toward money can shape our financial reality. We will discover the powerful connection between mindset and wealth building and learn how to shift our perspective to attract abundance and achieve financial success. So with that being said, Fred, can you start by explaining what the mindset of money means to you?
Yeah, this is a great question. So all of us, every single one of us, we grow up with beliefs, right? And it comes from the environment we were raised in as children, our family, our home life, our interactions with money, if we ever had experience in earning money, losing money, spending it, saving it, all of those things. It shapes us. It's all of our experiences that come together. And over time, as we grow and develop into adults, it forms a mindset of money. And you will see that there are some interesting patterns that come up, and it's all based on, like I said, it's beliefs, the beliefs we have. And that this is what shapes our mindset. And so if you ever want to change the results that you have around something, a place I always like to start and look at is, can you change your beliefs? Can you do that? It takes a lot of work, but it is possible over time with persistence and action. You can change your beliefs. And then when you do that, it impacts the results we get.
So you said we can change our belief system. So before we go
Yeah.
there, let me ask you this. How do our belief or our attitude about money influence our financial success?
Well, we start with what are you thinking about on a day-to-day basis? Your thoughts, ongoing. If you are constantly having worries about money or feeling that there's not enough, or maybe you grew up with a belief that if you do something to make money, then that means that someone else lost money to allow it for you to earn it, which is totally false. But a lot of people believe that they truly believe that, and that's something known as a zero sum game, where
Mhm.
if someone's going to acquire money and wealth, it's at the expense of someone else who had to have lost it. And there's nothing further from the truth. I feel that we live in an abundant world where there's more than enough money, more than enough resources, more than enough opportunities for everyone. And all it takes is you to have the desire and belief to go and bring value to the marketplace, to create a product, create a service, and deliver that to the marketplace. And if it's something that's needed and desired, you're going to earn money from that. And believe me, it's not at the expense of someone else. It's not taking advantage of someone else. You are being rewarded for the value you bring to the marketplace. And so I always like to approach it from that perspective. And you will see, as real estate investors, as if you are a fund manager, whatever it is you do, you're a professional, you bring value to the marketplace with your skills, your abilities, your know-how, your problem solving abilities, and you will be paid for that. You will be paid for that, for bringing that value. And so that's how you can begin to shape a different mindset around money. Is it's an exchange of value. Money is energy, and it wants to be in motion at all times. And
I
so,
agree.
yeah, we can always approach it from that perspective.
Yeah, I agree on that 100%. That money is an energy and it's always in the motion. And but what are some of the common money mindsets that hold people back? Because the first step is the realization. A lot of time people don't even have the realization that this is some set pattern or some conditioning that started from the very childhood, like you mentioned earlier, that is there, and
Yeah.
that has shaped their mindset towards the money. They do not see money as an energy, but versus they label the money as a good money or bad money, and then they allow accordingly that money to enter their life, which is could be right and wrong depending on your situation, right? So share with me, what have you seen in your experience, some of the common money mindsets that hold people back?
Yeah. All right, here's a great example. Real estate investors, right?
Mhm.
Real estate investors, I've seen this many, many times. Someone gets started real estate investing and they feel like they gotta squeeze every penny out of the transaction. They got to do all the things themselves. And there's a lot of moving parts there. There's a lot of expertise required. And it's not realistic to feel that you can go in and do everything yourself. Let's say someone wants to buy a single family home and renovate the property and do all the things themselves, all the work, all the repairs, whether they know how to do it or not. Maybe someone's spending hours and hours watching on YouTube how to install plumbing to learn how to do it. Well, what if instead you hire that out to the professionals, to the tradespeople that have that skill? And yes, you have to pay them, but they will get it done much faster than you can. And now you can move on to the next task. So there's that delegation and releasing of different tasks, different activities, and bring people in that have the skills that you don't have. right? That their highest and best activity is doing the plumbing, doing the electrical work, doing the painting or the architecture design, whatever it might be. And you pay them, you include that in the budget for the property, and don't feel like, oh, I want to save a buck, so I'm going to do some of this stuff myself. Because you'll find that a rehab of a property, instead of taking 2 months, it took 12 months. And meanwhile, you're sitting there with a property that's not generating income because it's still being renovated, and you're going all hours of the day working on it, burning yourself out, right? Instead, delegate the task, delegate that work. And yes, you're hiring people, they're doing what they're good at, but that in turn allows the job to get done so much faster and probably at a better level of quality than you would have done. And now that property is going to be put into service quickly. And when I say put into service, I mean generating income, whether you're selling that or you're renting it out, it's ready to go. And now money's coming back in. So yes, you're spending more, but you're getting to the finish line a lot faster. And now what does that do? That frees you up to go maybe work on your next deal, do your next deal. Now it's 2 months ahead instead of 12 months down the line, right? So you got done so much faster. And now there's velocity. Another thing we can talk about is the velocity of money. How quickly did you turn around the whole effort and be in a position where, hey, I'm ready for the next one? Great. And so this is another aspect of it. So with money being energy, right, you have a budget for this property renovation. And so you're paying out to all the different tradespeople, you're paying commission to the realtor, all of these activities are happening. The tradespeople working in your property, what are they doing? Well, every day they got to go have lunch down at the corner pizza shop or the corner restaurant in town. So now they're taking the money they're earning from you and putting that into circulation. So you see this ripple effect that starts to happen, and it's all stimulating the economy, all originating from your desire and activity to go and start this project. And so you're earning a profit in the end when you have the property completed, but all of the propagation of money has been released into paying the different tradespeople, buying materials for the project, where they went to have lunch, where they went to get gas, in all in the neighborhood, right? You're stimulating the local economy. And so the effects are many. It's huge impacts. And so I like to think of money from that perspective of, hey, money comes in, I'm sending it back out quickly, and it's impacting all of these different areas in a positive way. And I love that.
I know, I like that too, because you talk about the circulation of money, and we already talked about that as the energy, and energy cannot stay at one place. It has to
Yeah,
be in motion. And the more it's going to be into circulation, the more it's going to attract more for you as well, right? The return is going to be even
it
better.
is.
You're going to be scaling, and then that's where all the delegation of work, everything comes in. But it's kind of chicken and egg situation, you know. So, because a lot of
Yeah,
people, they have limited belief system. We talk about that already, and they do
yeah,
have some stigma about money, some taboo about money, or because it's all the conditioning, all the patterns, set patterns that they follow, right? So
yes,
the first step in that is recognizing those patterns, or recognizing that conditioning, like what happened in my childhood, you know, why I'm like so scared of spending money. You know, it happens all the time. I have seen that in my friend circle. So I have seen that, you know, some people, they'll go out on a lunch or dinner with you, and they don't even want to pay. They get like, you know, they're like, feel like, oh, just like, you know, hesitant. And but some people, they're just like always wanted to, take the tab on that because they feel like, oh, it's all good. It's my trade. And I'm one of those people. Do I feel happy when I say, okay, it's my trade, because I wanted to be in that position. So I just feel like this is not happening to them right at that moment. This is some previous experience, and that's the reaction to that experience, right? That's again a pattern. But I'm going to come back to our first question, like we're talking about how to identify those patterns. And I'm going to ask you, from your experience, did you have something like that? From your experience, did you shift from this limited money mindset to abundance? Or you grew up in an environment that was like you were always taught to live in abundance?
Yeah, I grew up in an environment, a traditional family environment where we were taught, hey, go to school, get good grades, get a good stable job, and you'll do really well, right?
Mhm.
And so that's how I grew up. And I was always drawn to computers. I went to study computer engineering, became a computer engineer, and then I went to work in the tech industry right during the, the early days of the dot-com boom, right?
Mhm.
In the late 90s. That's when I started. And so think about that. The idea of a stable employment, stable job. I learned pretty quickly that that's a fallacy, at least in the tech industry, very cyclical. And what I learned was that I loved the work I was doing, but it didn't matter how good of an engineer I was or how valuable of an employee I was. If things were not going well in the company or in the job market, I could lose my job for no fault of my own. Company could go under, or there's downsizing, or any number of things that can happen. And so that's what really made me shift from thinking about money coming in from my paycheck as a steady source of income. I realized that that was a huge risk I was taking,
Mhm.
relying on only having my paycheck. And so
Right.
that's what inspired me to get into investing into alternative investments, because I wanted to have other sources of income. I
Mhm.
wanted cash flow. And so I started to learn about investing, about real estate, about all these different asset classes, and still working as an engineer. But now I was also working on building up my own income streams. And so, with the mindset, here was a big thing for me. After many years of doing this, one day, what happened was I realized that I was bringing in enough income from my investments to
Mhm.
cover all my living expenses.
Nice.
And so when that happened, I realized that from that point forward, I was now going to be working because I wanted to and not because I had to. And that was a huge mindset shift for me in that moment, but really powerful. So that was definitely something from my childhood that I shifted and changed um, based on the reality, based on the fact that I was working in one of the most volatile
Mhm.
environments and industries possible. It's very
I know.
cyclical. It still is.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Believe me or not, I was in the IT world too. I come from the tech world. I was there for 20 years. So one question, I mean, I struggle with that too, because I was on the similar mindset. My parents were like that too. Go to school, get good grades, get good job, because that's what they knew and that's what they taught us. And
Yeah, and it
parents, they
worked
want the
great
best for
in
their,
their no, it worked
and it
great
worked really.
in their generation. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, but there is something called fear, that we have in the corporate world, because like you said, we have limited resources. No matter how resourceful you are, it's like everything is limited. You're limited in to certain limits or a box, I would say. You live in that. And that creates the fear of going outside the box. I would call it fear of investing or fear of taking financial risk. Because if
Yeah.
you talk to somebody, hey, you got a 401k, like if you spoke to me about this thing like 20 years back, and you say, can you invest from your 401k? I will think twice. I'm like, oh, no, 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 this is my retirement savings. I don't want to touch it. And I'm saying that because coming from a space with limited knowledge, that I'm just getting 4% on that, how much I'm going to make, because it's a knowledge gap, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Most
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
time people are not investing or not doing anything. It's a knowledge gap. And with my limited knowledge, I say, oh, no, 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 I don't want to do it. I'm saving it for my retirement. So you might have experienced that too, but we pass that hurdle, right? I use my 401k to invest big time because that's how I started in real estate. So share with me from your journey, how can people overcome that fear of investing or fear of taking financial risk?
Yeah, this is a great question. So, a couple things I would say. First of all, most important is focus on your education and learning,
Mhm,
right? Get educated first, and you have to take the initiative to learn. You listen to podcasts, maybe you do some trainings, courses, or seminars, attend seminars. Get educated from people that have a good track record and good experience. And the second part of this, super important, is get around like-minded individuals. Find
mhm,
people, if you want to learn about investing, find people that are doing it and they're successful at it, and learn
mhm,
from them and get around people like that. Why?
mhm.
Because the conversations that you're going to have are different, right? Maybe the problems that are being solved are a little bit of more advanced, a little higher level. Maybe the events that people are attending, you might get invited along to go to an opportunity, to an event. Great. Or join a group, join a mastermind, but get around other individuals that are successful, because the mindset, the conversations, the energy, all of that presence, it rubs off on you. It has an influence, right? We've all heard this as children where parents say, hey, watch who your friends are, what
Mhm.
don't be hanging around with the wrong crowd, right? All of that. Well, that works in the positive direction as well. It's very powerful. So if you put yourself around successful individuals, most likely is that you're going to become a successful individual as well, because you'll be acting like one, you'll be learning from others, the conversations that you have, all of these things, the places that you go, the events that you attend. And so instead of uh, sitting at home watching, binging Netflix all day, you might be instead, hey, I'm going to do this online course, or I'm going to go travel for the weekend to a workshop to learn about this specific skill, this specific strategy that people are really successful with. And then you learn that, you acquire that knowledge, and then now you have the opportunity to put it into practice. And that's
I
just
agree.
what advances you.
That's true. I agree on that. And Netflix is not bad as long as you're aware enough what you're watching. Because there's a lot of good stuff on Netflix too, as long as it's adding to your knowledge base or is getting you more open up and think outside the box. This is all good. And then you said very well that network with people, hang out with like-minded individuals. So I'm going to ask you this question over here. We know that all mindset plays a big role in everything, whatever we do in our lives. So do you see if there's any connection between the mental health and financial health?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a connection. Consider this, when it comes to health overall, and I've seen this, I'm sure you have too. Some people get so focused on chasing money, chasing the dollar, chasing wealth, doing deals, and they neglect their health, their
Mhm.
physical health, their mental health, neglect their family, whatever other areas of life. And That's not sustainable, right? What good is being a multimillionaire if your health has declined to the point where you can barely function and you have a very poor quality of life now, because the only goal you're going to have at that point is to recuperate your health and nothing else will matter. And a lot of times it could be too late. There may be no solution. And so what good is to be in that space? And so there's definitely a connection for health, mental wellness, all of those things while you're on the journey so that you can enjoy life in a holistic manner. Because this is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. And so enjoy everything you're doing all along the way. And that's going to make a big difference
That's true.
because,
You said it very well. I know. But the thing is, having that equilibrium balance,
yeah,
it's very important, right?
yeah.
So, in your experience, or how have you done or created that balance in your life that you're like so chill? Like you were talking to me earlier before we started the recording, and you're like, oh, I joined the same network group like you were in. And then you're just like saying it very calmly. And then you've been to multiple podcasts and you've been there, done that, and you have a very successful at whatever you're doing, right? So you found that equilibrium or that balance in your life. So share with us those steps. How did you do that so that we can benefit from that?
Yeah, really, there's two ways to look at this. Look at your calendar. How are you allocating your time every day, right? Do you have time for yourself, time for work activities, right? Which may be activities that you're earning money, and you have work activities that maybe you're not earning money on your family, your health, your fitness. Something I do, I work out just about every day and I have it on my calendar. It's blocked out. So it's not negotiable. I do it every day. You know why? Vinky, I'm sitting here all day long. I'm on the phone. I'm on the computer working all day in this chair. And at the end of the day, the best thing to do is shut everything down and I go train at the gym for an hour and a half, and be in a different environment. I'm moving. My blood is circulating better. There's oxygen going to your brain, right? What does that do? It gives you clarity. Maybe the solution to a problem I had earlier in the day comes to me because I'm focusing on something else now, right? And so I'm training, and hey, you know what? I train at a gym where there's some pretty high level athletes there. So talk about putting yourself around successful people. I'm working out right alongside someone that was Division I level athlete in college, and someone else is like a competitor at the CrossFit Games. Like serious people, and there's me. I'm not there to compete with anyone. I'm here to do a workout, to get sweat, get my blood flowing, and it feels great. And that's the environment that I choose to put myself in. And so it's inspiring, it's motivating. And yeah, I'm sore, but I'm going to go exercise anyway because in the end, I know I'll feel good. And so it becomes a non-negotiable thing for me on my calendar. And so focus on, I would say, focus your calendar, plan your day out, and block it off in different times. I spend time every day. I'm writing. That's an activity I do. I love creating, writing, whether it's books, articles, content. Do my exercise. I have time for networking, phone calls, meetings, for building relationships in general. That's a different category. And time for family activities, whatever they might be. If you plan it out ahead of time, it makes it real easy to stick to some consistency. And you know what? Sometimes life happens. It's never perfect and you have to make adjustments, and that's fine. But at least you go into it with a plan. I find that if you don't go into your day with a plan, it's very easy for it to get out from under you, out of control and derailed. So at least if I have a rough plan, time blocks, that helps in a big way. So that's one suggestion I have for everyone is plan your day, and this will keep someone else from planning it for you.
So this is a very good advice, time management, and everybody struggles with time because that's the limited resource that we have in our hands. Even everybody thinks we're gonna be here forever. We have unlimited time, but guess what? No, that's not the
Yeah.
truth. And this is a really good advice that do the time blocks and have your day strategically like timed out so that you can do accordingly everything, achieve more. And wherever you left out that day, start the next day where you left off the previous day so that you can accomplish more. But let me ask you this. Do you just plan day by day or do you plan your whole life? In the corporate world, I remember Yakov asking me this question. It's like, did you plan your life? I'm like, not anymore. When I was in the corporate world, it was planned life. Okay, I wanted to get this promotion. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I need to get here. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. Just everything, right? It's just like very kind of basic life that I was living. And when I came to the entrepreneurship, I'm just going more like with the flow. My
Mhm.
day is planned, but I am not planning my whole life ahead of me. I'm just going with the flow because I have the sense of freedom. I have sense
Yeah.
of freedom of time. So I wanted to hear from your experience, from the tech world to this entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I have a very similar experience. I plan by the day. And for me, I am in the mortgage note investment industry. That's that's the asset class I focus on for investing. And so with note investing, there's three main pillars of activity. The first one is raising capital and having access to capital. The second one is having access to buy mortgage notes, and that's largely relationship driven. And then the third one is administration of the portfolio and managing a portfolio and vendors and all the partners we work with. Those are the three pieces, and they're all essential, they're all crucial. And so at a high level, I'm focusing on each of those three um, throughout the week, right? Throughout the week, capital raising probably is the most focus at all times consistently. And when you have a big trade, a big transaction coming up, then yeah, you're going to focus more time on that. And so it's a little dynamic, but at a high level, it's always focused around those three. And so I go by day, but yes, over a week or two, if you're looking out a little bit, yeah, there'll be some larger initiatives, larger efforts that you have going on. But be flexible, right? It's important to be flexible. Changes and surprises come up, right? Never know. I get a phone call and say, "Hey, Fred, we have this deal that is coming up, and one of the parties backed out. And would you like to jump in on this? We know you have capital. Would you be interested in jumping in?" And so you could be in a position where, okay, maybe it does make sense. I'm going to reshuffle some things, reprioritize dynamically, and pursue that because, hey, there might be a good opportunity there that I could bring value to that business transaction. And then you do that, and then you execute on that. And so yes, have a structure, but also have some flexibility and be open to new opportunities that may come up.
So I agree on that. And flexibility and being fluid is the key. And you can only achieve that when you have these time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. Because if you do not have the financial freedom or the time freedom, it's like kind of binds you just living a little bit limited life there, right? So because all the thoughts that's going in your mind, you do not have space in your mind
Yeah.
to be fluid. You're not flexible anymore. So that's the reason we stress on the mindset more, getting more aware, get attuned with yourself, just, figure out who you are. So that
Yeah.
and create that calmness, that space in your mind, that you're more creative, you're more fluid, like you're more flexible. You're like adjusting to the situations. You're not like stuck. Okay, this is like set in stone. That's the way I wanted to do it. I don't want it to go beyond that. So this is all good. I love all the golden nuggets that you're sharing with us. So I wanted to ask you over here, can you share one more important piece of advice that you would like my listeners to kind of follow day to day or put day to day routine so that they can, improve their financial health, their mental health, their physical health, and get to the level of success or achieve the level of success they are looking for in their life?
Yeah. I would say this, this is an approach I take, is that I consider myself a lifelong learner. So I'm
Mhm.
always striving to learn new things, learn new skills, working on different skills. I have a practice personally that every year I want to learn something new
Mhm.
every year. And so I do that. I set out to decide what it is. And then during that year, I learn it. Maybe I'll take classes or attend a workshop or a course or whatever it is and learn that skill. And it helps with always being curious about a new thing. And you're put in an environment where you're not an expert. You're the novice. You're there to learn, absorb everything, and participate in a new experience. And you know what's pretty cool is most often there's other people there too doing that. And so you get to meet some interesting people and forming some really powerful relationships as well. And so this adds to the richness of life and makes you a better person. And so what I would encourage everyone is be a lifelong learner, right? Don't be one of those people that I've heard this statistic that over 40% of high school and college graduates, when they finish school, they never read another book again. Right? Have you heard that? I think that's
Yes, I did.
terrible. That's so sad. Always read, whether it's traditional books or audio books, whatever you like. Learn new things, learn new skills. It's fun. Could be a hobby, it could be a business skill. Maybe you go to a workshop on tax strategies, or you go to learn sales, what, because you never did sales professionally. That was something I wanted to learn. So it's just all these different areas. They can be work related or fun related, but learn, take up new hobbies, new activities. You'll meet people, you'll have fun, and you'll learn something. It makes you uh, a richer person, richer in experiences and skills.
I like that. I really, really love that because I'm all about learning as well. Because learning is the key. The day you're going to stop learning, you're kind of dead. There's no difference between living
So
or not
true.
living. And then learning is the key. And for me, I want to learn something new every day because everybody has something to teach you. And you taught me so many things today as well. Thanks, Fred. Because everybody has something, because everybody has a unique approach looking at things. Everybody has their own set of glasses. Everybody has their own processing power. They process things differently. They see things differently. So everybody is there to teach you something if you're aware enough.
Yeah.
Right? So I just feel like if I did not learn something new every day, that day is wasted. So it means I did not utilize my time mindfully. So that's very important. And thank you for sharing that. And this brings us to our wide rapid fire round. We can go through a set of questions. I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you're going to answer in one word or one sentence only. Are you ready?
Great. Let's do it.
Okay. So what is one of the most important thing that you have learned in your life, and how did your life change after learning it?
One of the most important things I learned is the skill of building relationships. And what that's changed is that it has opened up so many doors for me all throughout life, from job opportunities to business deals, business transactions, business partners, friends, meeting good, solid people to have around you in your life. And that's powerful.
I like that. And you said earlier too that you were not competing, and then it's like you're not competing, but you love to collaborate. I think that's the key. When you are a collaborator, you're achieving big time. So share with me one good book that you like to recommend to my audience.
A good book is Tribes by Seth Godin. It's all about, yeah, Tribes by Seth Godin, the marketing master. He's written so many books on marketing, but Tribes is about building community and really gets into the heart of that, how to bring people together where
Mhm.
everyone feels like they're part of something larger than themselves.
That's a
And
really
isn't
good one.
isn't that what we do as investors? We attract people together and do great things, and everyone gets to be a part of something larger than themselves.
That's true. And that's the reason we have the societies, not even talking about the investment is overall, it's the human nature. We are the social beings. We like to live in a society in a collaborative manner. And if we are not doing that, we are missing out on a lot of
Yeah,
opportunities. I'm going to put it this way.
for
So,
sure.
in one word, what does life mean to you?
Growth,
Good one. What is your biggest passion?
making an impact.
That's a really good one. If you could turn back in time and talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself and why?
I would tell myself to focus on getting good at building relationships. And the reason why is it's a skill that will serve us so well no matter what we do, what kind of work we do, what we do in life. It's a valuable skill, and it's not taught in school.
Hmm. That's a good one. Thank you. How can people reach out to you?
Best way to reach me is to visit my website, which is fredmoskowitz.com. And if you prefer maybe a little easier of a spelling, you can visit giftfromfred.com. It'll take you right to my website. And always love connecting with investors, building relationships, and look forward to hearing from you. Please reach out.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks,
Thank,
Fred. Really enjoyed the conversation today.
thank you, Vinki. It's wonderful.